Now that the exterior of the barn was done and sealed up, it was time to start thinking about moving the camper inside. But before we can do that, we had to run power from the garage so we would have something to plug the camper into. That involved trenching out 2 feet deep, about 160 feet, so we could bury the service cable. In our ongoing effort to save money, we decided that we would do all the trenching, and we hired an electrician to come and make the connection at the meter box on the garage and make the connection and install a new panel in the barn. So we did the digging and we purchased the service wire. This crazy chainsaw machine was a little hard to handle. It worked pretty well. Dug up a lot of rocks and ran into some sort of an old drain line. And a couple of the rocks were so giant that there was no way we could remove them. One of them actually was probably 3 feet in diameter. And, I mean, who knows how far down it went. One of the other rocks was a little bit more shallow, and I was able to actually dig underneath it to run the line underneath. The only problem with this machine was because the soil was so saturated, the trench basically backfilled almost immediately. And in some places down by the garage, it just proceeded to cave in for days. And we happened to get a lot of rain right about the time we opened it up. Which meant that we basically had to hand dig the whole thing, well, I would say at least 75% of it. Here is our spool of wire. It's a 3-conductor aluminum wire. And did I mention the rain? This is down by the garage, and a big mess, pretty much. It was the low spot. Here's the general conditions of our site. We basically would dig, a 10-foot section and plant the cable and then dig the next 10-foot section. This is what it was like up at the barn also. Very wet, very muddy, and very rocky. Here's a quick little walkthrough. Here is that giant rock I was talking about where I had to tunnel underneath it. You can see that we also installed some conduit, the gray conduit, so we can run a phone line up to the barn for our internet. So, after all the mucking around, this is what we ended up with. What a beautiful piece of machinery.